Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. Good afternoon. How are you today? Hope you always in a great condition. So today I'm Dina Padanita as the fourth presenter. Wanna share with you about communicative language teaching. Have you ever heard about communicative language teaching? I'm sure that almost all of you ever heard about that. So today let's recall our prior knowledge about communicative language teaching. First, communicative language teaching. What's that mean? Communicative language teaching is a method to language teaching that emphasizes interaction, both means and ultimate goal of study. Language learners in environment utilizing CLD techniques learn and practice the target language through the interaction with one another and the instructor or the teacher. The study of authentic text and through the use of the language both in class or outside the class. According to CLT, the goal of language education is the ability to communicate in the target language. And then CLT also focuses on the teacher being a facilitator rather than an instructor. And then, how about the history of communicative language teaching? Communicative language teaching grew out of sociolinguistic in the 1970s. And then, as we said before, that the communicative language teaching is emphasized on the process of communication, interaction, and language function rather than forms. So the communicative language teaching is more focused on the communication skills rather than the patterns or the structure of the language itself. And then the student must be able to communicate requires more than linguistic competence. It requires communicative competence according to Hymes 1971. And then the student are knowing when and how to say what to whom to make their self understood in social appropriate ways. So the student must be able to use the language in appropriate ways and in appropriate times. And then the second language is learned best through interaction with others and through communicative usage of the language. So the student will get the best result using this method when they have interaction with their friends or their teacher. And then language 2 or second language is learned best when students try to say something that then they really want to or need to say. So in communicative language teaching, the student must be able to express what they want to say, what they think, what their opinion, and they try to speak up all of that. 1 minute. Let's see the example of the activities in communicative language teaching. Alright, what's your opinion that you watch the reviews activity, example of activity that are using communicative language teaching? Yes, of course. Here, the student be the center of the learning process, right? So the teacher only be a facilitator that provide everything what the student needs and learning process, and the teacher only be a facilitator here. And then we can see that the student is more active than the teacher itself. Let's next to materials in communicative language teaching. There are some materials that the teacher can use in communicative language teaching. The first one is pair and group activities without structured language that students have to follow. So pair and group activity can be one good activity or approach that the student can learn in communicable language teaching learning process. It will encourage the student ability of communication skills, and they try to be able to express the information about the discussion itself. Then that they can share their opinion to their friends in group activities itself. And then the material concentrate using language naturally for various social purposes and various social settings. So when the teacher using communicative language teaching method, they provide the material that relate you with social condition, with the real condition, with the language that used in daily activities. And then another activities that can be used in this method is problem solving tasks, drama, team projects, team games, and group discussion, and also role play. All of them is encourage the student of their communication skills, right? Because all of them is activities was proposes to foster the communication in the target language, and all of them stimulate the student to improve their speaking skills. Then let's move to another slide. Here, which approach do you feel fits you the most? Which approach that you feel that it will get the best result of the learning activities, and why? In my view, the most appropriate approach in communicative language teaching is using discussion. Besides, it encourages the student to improve their communication skills. Also, it will stimulate them to express their opinion or the information in prior knowledge or prior learning activities, than using the natural language. And more they practice, so more and more the communication skills will improve. So therefore the communication language teaching method is a good method that can improve the student speaking ability, speaking skills especially. Then it will make the student can learn naturally about the language in a good way, in an appropriate way, and in appropriate times. From me, that's all. Thank you for your nice attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.